Hello and welcome to the On the Whistle podcast. My name is Alistair Howarth, your host for our AFCON preview series. Today we are talking about the holders, Senegal. The Teranga Lions are coming into the tournament with so much pressure on their shoulders, having won the AFCON, the U17 AFCON, the Under-20 AFCON, the Beach Soccer AFCON, and the Chan in the last couple of years. They are coming in red hot. And joining us to talk about the Teranga Lions is Bamba Kasse, journalist based in Dakar. We talk all things Sadio Mane, Lamine Camara, the hopes of the nation at a time when there's a lot going on in Senegal. But we also look back on that brilliant win in 2021. Enjoy. Bamba, welcome to the On the Whistle podcast. It's so good to see you in Dakar, in Senegal, and it's so good to be interviewing you about the Senegalese national team whilst they're champions. You know, how does it feel for you, for the Senegal national team, for the first time to be coming into an Africa Cup of Nations as the champions, as the team that are the holders? How does that feel for the nation?
Oh, it was something very, very, very big, something we never seen. We have never seen before, and I don't think that even if we take this trophy for the second time, uh, you know, these people going on the street crying, following the bus with players on the top. This team spending quite 5, 6 hours between the airport here in Dakar and the president house. Everybody on the street. It was something very, very, very big, something very, very, uh, you know, uh, historic. If I can use these words.
Yeah, absolutely, it was historic. And I remember seeing the videos and the pictures of hundreds of thousands of Senegalese fans when they arrived, and that bus parade from the airport to the president's house was just, it was remarkable to see. I wanted to ask you though, because coming into this tournament, actually, you were saying before we started recording, the interest hasn't been as much on the team as maybe we'd expect. You know, in part because of what's going on politically in Senegal. What's going on? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, that's you. That is the case actually, and football fans are a little bit worried about this because Senegal is Senegal country will organize election in February, and the campaign will start at the beginning of February, the 3 February. No, the first day of February, the campaign will start. So it will be on the same time, the same period. Uh, we're supposed to be behind our national team and follow them. So it's something like a conflict, a little bit conflict between political things and sport things. But I think, uh, yeah, and it can explain why there is not, you can see on the street a very, very big excitement, no flag, no, message, visual, nothing actually, but no fan zone. Uh, so, and it's not something usual. Normally, 10 days before the AFCON start, everybody used to put the shirt, Senegalese shirt, having the flag, and talking about the game, talking about Alucis's choices, you know. But this year we don't see that. We don't see that yet. But I think when the competition will start, okay, the football will dominate again.
Yeah, as always, politics is important. It's so important to everything. But as soon as the football comes, the politics is second. It's the sideshow. I wanted to ask Bamba, because this is also an interesting tournament from a Senegalese perspective, because we've interviewed a lot of people from a lot of the countries, and ones from like Burkina Faso, Guinea, Ghana. They're saying how excited they are for this tournament because because it's so close in Cote d'Ivoire that they're going to get big fan bases coming. Are we expecting the same from Senegal? Lots of fans to make that trip because it's
Yeah,
obviously it's still
yeah,
a far distance, but it's
yeah,
only kind of through Guinea or through Burkina Faso.
yeah.
Are we going to expect to see a big kind of traveling support of Senegalese fans at the AFCON?
For sure, for sure. From Dakar to join Abidjan, you just need 3 hours by plane. And people used to take bus too to travel between Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire. That's why I think, yeah, as Guinean, Gambian, Mauritanian, all these guys from West Africa, Senegalese people will be present in this Senegalese fans will be present. And you something you have maybe to mention is that there is a lot of Senegalese living in Ivory Coast. A lot of, and it's something historic before the colonization, and uh, many Senegalese used to travel to Abidjan and to live there. For the little story, the next big challenger of Alassane Ouattara, the president, the next big challenger is Tijan Cham. And Tijan Cham,
Senegalese
who
name.
maybe, yeah, it's a Senegalese name. It means that, yeah, his grandfather or his father came from Senegal and stay in Africa. So I think that, yeah, it will be very uh, something very anime. We will have a very nice and very big animation. And as you see, maybe, or as you know, the travel agency are organizing some trips. They are sending some offers. So I think, yeah, you're right. This time, I think many Senegalese many Senegal fans will be there in Ivory Coast in Yamoussoukro for the first stage. Okay, and the other thing is that we will play against two neighbors. Senegal will play against Gambia, and Senegal will play against Guinea. And yeah, it will be very big derby, as you can imagine. And yeah, I think we'll have a big number of fans will make the deplacement, will travel.
Yeah, and I was going to come on to that, but we can talk about that now. That this brilliant situation where Senegal is in the same group as the Gambia and Guinea. Obviously, not only is Senegal a neighbor to Guinea, but Gambia is inside Senegal. You're their only neighbor. And I was speaking to a Gambian journalist, and he was saying that for them, they see Senegal kind of almost like a big brother, and
Yeah,
they're so excited for that game because it's their chance to kind of to fight with their big brother to maybe kind of beat them from the Senegalese perspective, because you are the big brother, you're the ones who are expected to win those games. You're expected to beat both Guinea and particularly Gambia. Are fans excited to play them, or is there almost nervousness because you're saying, hey, these guys know us, these guys they'll be more up for the game than if we were playing, I don't know, Malawi or South Africa or whoever. Gambia, they want to win this game. Is there a sense of that pressure on the Senegalese team?
yeah. I think there is a very big pressure on the Senegalese team because of the reason you mentioned, like that. Senegal is the big brother, Gambia is inside Senegal, but on because of the history too. Because maybe as Gambia's team when they play against Senegal, they are 200% focuses. They, Senegal, the Senegal Gambia games always on any time was a very difficult game for Lion of Teranga.
Mm.
Okay, because even if they came with the winning spirit, they used to face a very hard opposition from Scorpions because
Hmm.
the same people, quite. If you go to Senegal, Gambia's team, you're gonna see some Manes people, some Sanyas people, some because Gambia is inside Senegal, and
Hmm.
some village are between are you know
In
located
both.
in the border, on the border. So yeah, so that's quite the same thing. And football analysts here say, okay, we have to pay attention against this Gambia team. Okay, Senegal Gambia will be the first game. Okay, for this time, Senegal will start with a statue of champions of Africa, and these Gambia's players, they are very good too. I don't know if you used to follow them. It's not Gambia is not a small team. It's a very big team. Even it's not a very big name, it's a very big team. So I think this game will be very, very hard. And we have to pay attention, we Senegalese, because yeah, some surprise can happen. It's not my wish. It's not what I'm wishing, but
But
playing
it could
against
happen.
Gambia is yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, Gambia's, yeah, it's a small team, so the pressure will be on Senegal, but it's a very good team, and they showed at the last AFCON they can play
Yeah,
against the best teams, Mali, Tunisia, even Guinea. Um, for before we get into the team and the squad going into this tournament, I have to ask because Senegal have been unbelievable the last 4 or 5 years. From almost being nowhere, suddenly 2017 you get quarterfinals, 2019 final, 2021 you win it, and even since 2019, I think the only teams in competitive football have beaten you is Egypt in the World Cup qualifiers, which you knocked them out, and then England and Netherlands at this last World Cup. And not only have you been so successful, beating almost every team you come up against, you've also been doing it at every level since the last AFCON. I think U17 AFCON, U20 AFCON, Chan, even you won it. What has made Senegal and the Teranga line so successful over the last 4 or 5 years? What is going on behind the scenes that is make because this team winning the 2021 AFCON, it was not a surprise. It was not a one-off. It was, we saw it coming. What has been going on in Senegal to make, the whole team, right from the youngsters all the way through to the first team, so successful?
I don't know. Maybe just it was our time, because before this very big year, okay, because before of the AFCON, the last AFCON, we never win anything, and just after that, Senegal won the CHAN, won the under 17, won the under 19 AFCON, and it was a very, it was the year of football in Senegal. These 2 years are the years of football. Um, Surprise sometimes, yeah, because we used to lost um, with other categories, young categories, we used to lost everything. But this time, maybe it was because of the first win. Maybe people, apart from the final against Egypt, people start to say, "Hey, it's something possible," okay? And yeah, it was a sort of electroshock or impact. Excuse me, I'm French guy. Yeah, it's something like that. You understand? But uh, in perspective of the next competition, we have to be very, very not very excited, because maybe it was just, it's not something, it's not the result of a big political sport political. I mean, it was quite a surprise to see Senegal on the final won the game against Egypt. Because before that, we only was on final two times. Okay, one time in 2002 We lost against Cameroon, and in 2019, 2020, we lost against Algeria. So it was for the third time, for the third time, we won. We won the trophy. Okay. Does it mean that we are the biggest team in Africa from now? No, I don't think so. We have to, to take it easy, to go and to play, and maybe this time to try to have the 7 years old. And it's something in Africa. We know that the AFCON is very, very hard, and need to have a mix between old players and young players. But you really need very young players because as a team, it's a football, African football. In African football, yeah, the physical impact is something you have uh, to take in account. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact is, we are actually champions of Africa in 3 categories, 4 categories, because even for the Shan is the African Cup of Nations for local teams and local football. Okay, even for that, we won the trophy for the first time. But for me, it's not something like, okay, we are the big Egypt, in 2010, 2008. You understand? Egypt was the king of Africa. We are not the king of African football, actually. We have to play, we have to go there. Uh, with, we have to be humble, we have to play hard, and maybe after we see if we attempt the semi-final, everything will be possible.
And Baba, you're saying that the team needs to stay humble and be calm and everything, and I totally agree with you. But in back in Senegal, what are the fans expecting? You know, for Senegal to win the Afcon again. What are the expectations on the team from the fans?
No, for the fans say, okay, the majority of fans, if you ask them what do you expect for this competition, they say, yeah, we expect to win. We want to win. And we think that we have a team, we have a very big team. We're gonna win, we're gonna beat everybody. Now, but this is a fan perspective. It's not a journalist perspective, The journalist perspective are to see the other teams, how they organize, how they are strong, how they deal with the elimination, how they organize actually, who is present on the list, something like that. And some fans uh, expect to win, but at the same time, they have a fear about what we call here the the little teams like Gambia, like Guinea, Senegal, Guinea. When Senegal play against Guinea, it's all time very hard. Okay, and if you remember that last time for the last AFCON, we beat Guinea. So it means that they will come with the revenge spirit, and and it will be very very hard. And if you consider that we have a team, we have a very good team. I'm not saying that our team is not good. No, we have a good team, but I know because these last 20 years, I was covering AFCON anywhere in Africa. I can tell you that sometimes it's not a matter of having good players or something like that. It's a matter of having a very, very combative uh, team, uh, and it means that you must have very hunger players, hunger, you know, and very young players too. And this time it will not the case for Senegal's team. But we can build something very extra, very, very, very exciting. with our experience. If you take a balance, you say, okay, our team is not a very extraordinary one. Okay, our players are not so young they're supposed to be, but at the other balance, you say, okay, we have the experience of this competition. On this team, you see some players who already play four AFCON, and it will be the fifth, the five AFCON. So something like that. We have this mix of emotion.
Yeah, I want to talk about the team because actually, you're saying that it's a more experienced team, but at the same time, it's a very different team to the team that won the AFCON 2 years ago. There's already a lot of young players who are getting a chance in this team. I think, Musa Nyakate is now getting a lot of game time as center back. Ismail Jacobs, Ilman Jai and Ismail Assar. I know Assar has been a part of the team for a while, even though he's young, but Njai is now becoming important. Nicholas Jackson is coming in. Lamine Kamara, obviously the youngest and the newest one. But I think for me, and I want to get your sense on this. For me, it's been very impressive the way that Senegal have been able to slowly transition this team because yeah, you have this old generation, Mane, Mendy, Kouyaté, Gay, quite a lot of these guys all around the same age, same experience, been a part of the team, like you said, for 3, 4, 5 AFCONs. But now they're transitioning to this new young team. How do you think a lot of these younger players have done coming into the team? I'm thinking of Kamara, I'm thinking of Njai, I'm thinking especially of Nicholas Jackson, who obviously has a lot of pressure on him, because of things haven't gone so well at Chelsea. Yes, he's done well to score quite a few goals, but he's oftentimes not been seen as the elite striker that a lot of Chelsea fans were hoping for him. How has that transition been to bringing in some of these young guys?
Yeah, for me, Aliou Cisse is still building, because when you build at at in certain period you have to adapt yourself, and it's what Aliou Cisse is doing now, giving chance to some very young players like Nicolas Jackson, like Lamine Camara, because Nicolas Jackson will not have a lot of time to play inside the team. He's not yet, a titular. How to say titular? Titular. I mean,
Yeah, like he's not had a lot of game time. He's
yeah,
not an
yeah,
experienced
yeah,
player in the
yeah.
team. Yeah.
But he's part of the team. He's part of the team with other striker like Jallo, like Eliman Jai, who did not, who was very nice, who played very very nicely. Yes, last year in England in second division, but the transition in French league is not, yeah, it's very hard for him. And in national team, he's not taking a place. I don't know if you. Okay, so he's trying to have time and to play. So okay, it will be, in my view, yeah, you're right. Cisse is trying to make a transition with, in part, very big and very talented and very experimented people like Sadio Mane, Mindy, and all that. And in the other time, he has young players, with some experience. And I mean, Kamara is, for me, will be the key because he already played African Cup of Nations, even if it was another category. He already won the trophy with his category on the on the 19 category. He was in the World Cup, so it means he has a very nice experience, and I think that he will have the same feeling if you take Sadio Mane or Edouard on the balance. They, Lamine Camara had the same experience, even if it was in another category. So, for me, that's why people has a little bit, not very excited they are patient and they are yeah, they are not very excited about the the competition. You know, they say, okay, we are in the transition time, and maybe it can match, or it cannot match too.
Mm. And I think that's really interesting that you're saying Senegal is in this transition. And yeah, maybe in 2 or 3, maybe 4 years, the guys like Kamara will become the stars of the team. But, if we're talking about Senegal now, we have to talk about Sadio Mane. Obviously, he is the star. He is the one superstar. What is the sense around him? Because obviously he's still playing so well for Senegal. He's top goal scorer in qualifying. He scored another couple in the World Cup qualifiers just gone against South Sudan. But for him, he's had a difficult couple years in club football. Especially that move to Bayern Munich, it didn't work out. It didn't go very well for him. You know, is it been seen as a good thing that now he's in Saudi Arabia playing there and is fresh for the national team because he's not playing as the intense football that we see in the Premier League every week. Maybe it's a little more relaxed in the Saudi league, and he's able to actually be rested and recovered. Or are people maybe saying, oh, he's not playing at the same level he once was, he's not as good? What is the perception around Mane?
Yeah, about Sadio Mane, people saying that okay, he moved to Saudi League, as you say it, it's quite relaxed football, even okay, relaxed football. Yeah, but for him, I think the most important is how he is concentrated about national team. Because when Sadio Mane play in national team, it's not the same when he play in club. Even when he was in the English Premier League, you used to see that it's not the same football. Here in Senegal, Sadio Mane was the boss, and when he was in Liverpool, he was not the boss. He was part of the team. So I think physically, people was a little bit, uh, you know, people are asking questions about his physical capacity actually, because as you say and as you know, the Saudi League is not a very intense. It's not very intense. This is something a little bit soft, but there are other people saying, okay, it's because he did not spend many efforts in club. He will be more fresh than the other players for other teams coming from the European Championship. So yeah, that's the case actually. But the fact is, Sadio has to be and to stay the leader of this team, and he showed it. He's very excited. It's what he say because today the LCC organized what we call here open press. Open press means okay, every journalist come and meet all players in the lobby of the hotel. It take place 2 hours ago, and yeah, you can hear Sadio Mane saying, "Okay, I'm very concerned. Concerned. I'm feeling that I'm concerned 100% to win again the trophy because I think sometimes he knows that he will be this AFCON will be his last one, or even if it's not his last one, it will be the yeah the one the quite last one. So
Yeah, the last one where he's the star,
yeah,
where he's the main man, he's the
yeah.
boss.
So if we if I think his feeling is that okay, we have to do everything we can to win this trophy because it will be our last trophy. Uh, and because from the team in internal in intern you can see that there is young players coming, like Ismail, Lamin Kamara, Ismail Jacobs. You know, we have a player playing in Scotland, Sammy. All this, yeah, yeah. Senegal, he's a keeper, but we have a striker, and all these boys, they are, all these young people, they are coming. They are coming, and they come to take the position of leader of this team. So that's the case about Sadio Mane. One in one side, you can say, okay, he play in South Africa, he play in Saudi. It's not very intensive football. It's quite of soft football. Uh, so will Sadio physically very fit to play this African Cup of Nations? That's a question. But on the, in other time, in other side, you say, okay, because he is more than 30 years old, he is not playing in a very intensive league. Maybe it means that he'll be more fresh to take his part on this after.
Mm-hmm. Bamba, thank you so much for speaking to us. We always end the podcast with a quick fire round of questions. So I'm just going to throw some quick questions at you, and you'll see what you give in terms of answers. So, and some of them will be easy, some will be hard. So the first question is probably the easiest. Who is Senegal's most important player at this tournament?
I think Sadio Mane.
Yeah, it's always going to be Sadio Mane, isn't it? And
Yeah.
who is the one youngster that you think we should all be watching?
Lamine Camara.
Mm-hmm. Again, I think a more straightforward one. And then the tough question is how far at the AFCON will Senegal get to? Will they win it again? What position do you predict they'll come in?
Very difficult. Everything will depends on our start. Or it depends on how we're gonna start this AFCON. If we start by beating Gambia, I think maybe we can go in the second round, or maybe in if we start with difficulty. Listen. If we start with a draw against Gambia, we can go in final.
Mm-hmm. Okay, final. Okay, I'm excited
It's a
for it.
matter
Yeah,
of, yeah, it's a matter of mentally.
absolutely. And I think Senegal have shown that even the last AFCON, you had a very bad group stage. You only scored
Yeah,
one goal, two
yeah,
draws, but you
yeah.
got through it. You topped the group, and then you started to play well, and that mentality kicked in, and you got to the final. Okay, so if Senegal, so then the next question is who do you think will win the tournament? So for you, I need a country. Is it Senegal? Is it someone else? Who do you think will win the AFCON?
Yeah,
I
for
need
me,
one name.
only one name.
Only one name. I know it's hard.
Senegal.
Senegal. Okay. And then for you, who at this tournament do you think will be the top goal scorer?
Oof, the Nigerian one,
Yeah,
maybe.
Osimhen.
Aziman, yeah. I think, yeah, he, he's uh, he's on the fire, and I think his teammates will play for him. And in Nigerian football, they are organized like, the striker has to score. I think, yeah, will be one of the best scorer. Yeah.
And who will get the player of the tournament award? Who will be the best player at the tournament?
I don't know. Maybe Salah.
Mo Salah. Last time Sadio Mane, this time Mo Salah. All right, Bamba, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been great talking to you, and we're so excited to see Senegal back at the AFCON, because now there's pressure. We'll see if they can live up to it. Bamba, thank you so much.